All right, it looks like we ready to go. Make sure you got Dave in it too. Oh. Don't worry, look, it did me like that before too. I don't know why I won't stay tight. All right, that's how people. That's how people. Hey, look, that's how y'all know we really live.
Yeah, you know, what could go wrong will go
Oh
wrong.
yeah,
It's live,
every
right?
time, every
Any
time.
other time, nothing happens.
Yeah. Matter of fact, you can have it more on him than me. Yeah.
I need to move in.
No,
Something.
you good. You good. You good. All right, we go live maybe about 10, 15 minutes and then we get out of the live. So we're going live in our private Facebook group.
Oh, okay.
And then we send everybody through Zoom for them to get on if they want to continue with it.
All right, sounds good.
All right, well we're ready to go. Let me pause this music, man, and do some introductions, and then we'll get the party started. All right. So first of all, I want to welcome everybody that's taking part in today's investor training. And if you want to look at them, like if you want them to see your face, then that's the camera right there that you would look into. But if you just
they
kind
probably don't
of,
want to see my face. They just want the
hey,
information.
Jess, can you switch it to where it's showing? Uh, no, it should be to where you the speaker view. It should give us a yeah. There we go. Perfect. Like that. All right. All right. All right. So welcome to the training. Great information. This is a good friend of mine. Been doing this for a very long time. I met him when I first got my license. He was one of my very first clients. Gave me a shot. Gave me a shot long many years ago. I didn't know what I was doing, but he still gave me a shot anyway. So I definitely appreciate him for doing that. Dave, I'm gonna let you tell him a little bit about yourself as far as your background and things like that. But I definitely want to introduce Mr. David Hollins Jr. I've been doing investing, an expert in this business, and he's really going to educate us on how we can take advantage of what's coming down the pipeline with these, with these defaulted properties, and how we can connect with people that bring capital into the marketplace, which is what investors do. They bring capital into the marketplace. So you want to partner with those individuals and help them. And he's going to show us how to do that. So with that being said, Dave, I put it into your hands, man.
Oh, well, I appreciate that, man. First of all, how long has it been though? I mean, it take a few minutes not only to introduce
So
myself, but
all right, so I've been licensed for 16 years.
okay. Wow.
So you and I met before I started Brooks and Davis, right?
We did.
So
We did.
Brooks and Davis
You
is
remember where we
13.
met?
We met at when I did that presentation.
Yeah, you did that presentation at
So
Windsor.
yeah,
Windsor
at the
Village,
CEO
yeah.
meeting.
So
So
a sharp young brother. I was like, man,
that's at least 15 years,
At
man.
least, yeah. Well, I'm 20 years in now. Just to say a little bit about me. But if you don't mind, man, I'd like to say a little prayer.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, Father God, thank you again for this day. Thank you for the fellowship. Thank you for the information you're going to give us. Lord, thank you for just providing. Lord, we know we've been through a hard week, hard year, hard month. And we know without you, Lord, none of this is possible. Lord, thank you for keeping us. Let us get something out of this today, Lord. If I can share one thing that can help everybody that's looking and seeing what's going on, that is able to take them to another level in their business. So I thank you and I praise you. In your holy, precious name, amen.
Amen.
All right, well, man, let's see. Just to be informal, because I don't want this to be nothing like that. See, where I go back to, talk a little bit about, I guess it all started with the game Monopoly.
Okay.
So it all went back. So we spend a couple of seconds just talking about that. My dad brought that to me, or friends played that, and I was like, man, that's a good way to make a living.
How old were you,
man? I think it was probably my son's age now. He's getting ready to be 11.
So you was young.
So, wow. You know, one of the ones that just hated to lose.
Yeah.
Hated to lose, not only just, playing sports, thing like that, but it was really about the Monopoly game. So after I got pretty good at it, my dad was like, you can make a living doing that. I was like, make a living. So, buying those 4 greenhouses and 1 red hotel, that's how I was able, that's how it all started.
Yeah.
So just going through school, finished like everybody else, went off to the service, 18, 19 years old. Spent 10 years in the Air Force. At that time, I was looking at all of the late night courses. You
Mhm.
know, all the ones you see. Some of these people may not recognize, but they used to have two little twins on there. Used to have carton sheets. Few of the old school guys. And then I just started reading books while I was in the service, and I said, okay, you know, when I get out of here, this is what I want to do.
Mhm.
So I dabbled into it a little bit, bought a few little pieces here and there, and then after that, it came to the next level. It was time for me to make a decision whether to stay in the service or get out.
Mhm.
So kind of wish I would stayed, but I don't regret it.
Right.
It came down with Desert Storm, anthrax. You know, they wanted to give me a shot.
Mhm.
And I was like, man, I haven't had any babies yet. I haven't had any kids. I haven't started my career yet. Well,
Right.
this is not right.
Right.
So I went on and got out after 10 years. And from there,
Had to make the best move for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, one of our affiliate members, Ellen is she, I don't know how many years, put in a chat how many years you're with the Air Force, but she's with the Air Force too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ellen Porter.
All right. Well, yeah, that's the best one, Air Force. So, you know, give
That's-
shout outs to her.
That's
yeah.
that's what y'all say.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But you know, all my brothers and sisters in the military, you know, thank y'all for y'all
22
service as
years.
well.
She said she's been in there 22
22
years.
Okay, yeah. All right, thank you for your service, lady. 10 years for me, 6.5 active, 3.5 guard.
Mhm.
So when I got out, I went to Ellington Field
Mhm.
and started working there, you know, in the guard. Then I got me a 1-bedroom apartment, and that's where it all started. I remember taking my front room and turning it into my bedroom,
Mhm.
and taking the back room and making that office.
Okay.
And that's how Hollins Home Buyers, No Fear Investments all started.
Where it was born.
That was where it was born.
Matter of fact, I
right
think
off
this the first-
45.
I think this is the first time I heard that story.
Yeah, I
man.
know, man. I don't tell many people, but yeah. Right off of 45 and Alameda, right up in that area. So I grew up in that side of town. Went to Dobie High School, went to Yates.
Mhm.
So, you know, I'm a product of the environment.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to do today was just tell a little bit about the background, how I got there. But own my own business from there after coming back. You know, started buying a few real estate properties, start flipping a few, start holding a few. Then from there, had my office. We office together.
Mhm.
Didn't you office in another building over there
Where
too?
was it?
2646? Or did you
No,
office
because
across the way?
I started in this building.
What's it this building? Didn't you move to another
2600.
building?
Yeah,
And you
2656.
moved back.
Yep, when the
Okay.
hurricane,
Right.
and then we moved to 2626, and then
Okay.
we moved back over here.
Okay. So I stayed in 2646. You was
Okay.
in 56,
Yeah.
26,
Yeah.
then came back to
Yep.
what is this?
2600.
2600. You've
Yep.
been all over the place.
Yep.
Okay. So that's how it all started. Then from there, ran my business, taught classes, taught investments, joined the Realty Investment Club of Houston.
Now I was in that for,
Okay.
you know, and I think I did that, especially early in my career, a lot. And I know we crossed paths a lot through that
Absolutely.
organization, because I believe you was on the board at one point, weren't you?
Sat on the board for about 7 years, different positions. You know, was asked to be the president at one time, but you know, that just took a lot of time, so I never went that far. But great organization.
Yeah.
Some of the people and still around today, so it was a really good organization. I even recommend, even as being a realtor,
Mhm.
you know, if you can find some other ways of networking with
Yeah.
other investors. I think they still have a chapter open. It's quite a bit now since, you know, with the internet and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
You know what, I agree with you, man. I feel like that is, as a realtor, you should spend some time. Not saying that you got to be a member all the years, but at least do a 1 or 2 couple of years getting acclimated with the organization, because you do learn a lot from the investment side, the investment mindset, and you can build relationships and make connections.
And you know, this business, as well as any other business, it's all about relationships.
Right.
So I think it's even more in the real estate business
Yeah, I
because, you know, as being a realtor or being an investor, it's they deal with people they like.
Right.
So it's about relationships. Then from there, I owned the Home Investor franchise. So that went well for a while. I had a couple of partners. It kind of died down. You know, I let everybody know now when you get partners, you married to them.
That's
so
right.
what they do affects you and vice versa. So
That's right.
you really got to know who you in marrying and actually being partners with. So it's very key.
Yeah, I agree.
But that went well for a while. We did quite a few houses. You know, had several employees, so
Mhm.
it was good. It was a good time.
Yeah,
And everything comes to it, you know, its head, so to speak. You know, so
that's right.
from that, got into a little trouble, not trouble, but the finances, things that you don't look at. You know, when you're partners, you're handling one segment of business.
Right, one role, yeah.
Right. So I was handling all the buying. I had another partner that was handling all the selling. Then we had another partner that was handling all the fix-ups. So we were rolling at one time, doing anywhere from 10 to 15 hours a month. Wow. So it was very lucrative, but very busy, very stressful. So, and that's a little bit how this all started. But when I look to go back just a little bit before that, I wanted to bring it back home to how working with investors and realtors and how that can be something that you should really take advantage of. Before I became an investor, I was going to San Jack. Okay. Becoming a realtor. Okay. So that's how it all started. So I was in there, I was taking, contracts and I can't remember some of the classes. Legal, principles, agency, principles. I took all those classes. So I'm pretty versed in the area of being an agent as well. So, and then after I finished taking all those classes, I was going to take my real estate license. All right. And I ran into someone that told me, he was like, man, do you want to be an agent? Or do you want to be an investor? So I thought about it, told him the pros and cons. And now I kind of wish I would have did both. So you guys are in a great position if you already have a license, to be able to come on this side, to be an investor as well, and be able to show people nice, great homes and be able to put them in homes and still be able to deal with the other side. Yeah, I agree, man. It's a great tool to have, right? Absolutely. That license is a tool. Absolutely. Especially from an investment standpoint, understanding how to utilize both of them. Right. It is a good spot. And one time I didn't think so, to have both a license and being an investor, because you guys are held to a lot higher standard than we are. So, if you ever got in court or anything like that, they would say, hey, you're the professional. Right. You should know he doesn't have a license. You're a professional. So I thought that was somewhat of a disadvantage. But as the years have gone on, I found out that having a license is actually an advantage. A benefit. A benefit. So all of you that have your licenses, keep them. Don't let anybody tell you got to get rid of your license to be part investor or someone invest. Keep your license. Those are good tools. So to go from there, I thought about this. Mike asked me to come and speak to you guys and try to give you some pointers, some different things that help you be able to work with investors, because having that knowledge about that is very key. Yeah. I remember when I was a brand new investor, and I think the lady, she officed out of this building. I think she stayed in the condos right behind this building. Really? And she was a CRM or some of y'all's different. One of the designations. One of the designations. She had probably 4 or 5 of them. Okay. Very, very knowledgeable. And I was brand new. So, she taught me some things about working with the investors and working with realtors as well. And first thing she taught me, said, I'm not a realtor, I'm a realtor. That's right. Right? Oh, man, people be cringing. They be cringing when y'all say that. They mispronounce that all the time. Yeah, realtor. I'm like, how you spell it? So she got me right on that first. So now I'm able to say that word correctly first. And when you're speaking to people now, so no longer do I say realtor, I say realtor. Realtor. So you understand the origin of that word though? I actually don't. So, because the National Association of Realtors was formed like in the 1900s, like early 1900s. And they felt like if we were going to be considered a true profession, that we needed to have a professional name, right? Okay. So like when you teach on a higher level, they call you a professor, right? Gotcha. When you're very, good in philosophy, they call you a philosopher. Right. So that's where the term realtor came from. Okay. Well, I don't know why they want to put that A in there, but so she corrected me on that. And then one of the things she gave me in working with her getting started is, how can we work together to be able to make this, profitable for you and me? Yeah. Right? So be a relationship, right? We built a relationship. And other things is that I took some of her expertise, because I was brand new, and it's both sides. When you're brand new and as an investor, and the realtor is experienced, then you piggyback off that. Right. And vice versa, if you're a brand new agent, you listen to the investor because he can teach you a lot, or she can teach you a lot on getting through some of the things and aspects that it's going to take to be able to become successful.
Absolutely.
So a couple of things I just kind of jotted down is that, especially when you're new, just be honest. That's one of the biggest. I mean, on each side.
You're talking about when you're engaging with the investor.
When you engage with the investor, be honest. Tell them you're brand new.
Yeah.
Tell them that I want to put you in my Rolodex and get to know you, and maybe go out to lunch, see what aspects of the business that I can bring to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a new person, say dealing with me, somebody's been in the business 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm pretty, I don't like to waste a lot of time. So I can pretty much tell when I got somebody that's brand new, that's into the business, that brand new realtor, or a seasoned realtor that understands the business.
Absolutely.
And it's just coming with the different parts of your knowledge, meaning that I want to know all the be direct.
Yeah.
Come, hey, I got this deal. Here are the numbers. Here's exactly what I need from you to be able to buy this deal. When can we close?
Absolutely.
I like to talk like that.
Yeah.
Most of us do.
Straight to the details.
Straight to the details. Not, well, I think they might be interested, and can we, talk about this, or can we talk about that, or can you go over here with me and see if they, I've done that. I've done all aspects of it.
Right.
But as you start to get seasoned in the business, you really want to know the wow factor. And what I mean by that is, what is it worth?
Mm-hmm.
How much is owed on it, so to speak, if you got some kind of idea, and what do I have to do? How much? What I have to do to actually get the property.
Okay.
So it can be to fixing it or to acquire it, but I use that wow factor because it's pretty simple. So
right. So wow. So what? So say it again.
Wow. It's the what is it worth?
What is it worth? All right.
Okay. Oh, how much is owed on the property?
How much is owed? So
now, even if you don't have exactly,
give
me some kind of range, because I can let you know very quickly if I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
We all know time is money. So if you come with those things already up front, a true investor is going to always be very quick to get back to you.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to know, even as an experienced investor, as an experienced realtor or a novice, is that the true investors, they're not going to waste time.
They're fast.
They're going to tell you very quickly.
So if they dragging their feet, it's somebody that maybe not know what they're doing.
That's one of the keys, and not just, dragging their feet, but I hear a lot of realtors say, I need to qualify you. Okay, I hear that all the time. Qualify me. Well, there's 20 transactions I've done. How much qualifying do I need?
Right. What, you want to see the checks?
Exactly, and I've done that.
Yeah.
I actually kept a book of just checks.
Yeah.
So now when we first meet, sometimes it was lunch or whatever, I just hand the book, let them go through it.
Yeah.
Then they look at me and say, okay, you qualify.
You qualify.
Right. So it's not always, I hear them say all the time, well, I need to get a pre-approval letter. You gotta understand, you're not dealing with somebody that's gonna do one transaction every 5, 10, 15 years.
Right.
This is a person who wants to do multiple transactions.
Absolutely.
So once you get past that stage, it's going to be very, very easy to be able to deal with any type of
So let me ask you this question, right? So as a realtor, because, as an investor, you don't want to waste your time. And then especially seasoned realtors don't want to waste their time.
Absolutely.
How does a seasoned realtor put themselves in a position to where they're not wasting their time with a novice investor that really doesn't really know what they're doing?
Absolutely. Great question. Now that I'm seasoned on my end, and I know I pretty much only deal with seasoned realtors on their end. So it's kind of like a marriage, made in heaven. The biggest thing on the other end is just knowing you do want to qualify them a little bit.
Right.
Okay. The true players, the biggest thing about them, they are going to not waste your time. That's going to be the biggest thing you're going to see. It's going to be real easy. When you call them, they're going to ask you a few key questions, and they're going to say, when can I see you?
Okay.
If you're not getting that type of status back from them, or they will tell you, I'm just too busy right now, I can't look at it.
Gotcha.
So when anybody calls me, I love getting calls from different agents telling me, I got this deal, I got this deal. if I got things going on, I tell them right up front, hey, I can't do anything right now.
Right
No
now.
matter how good it is,
Yeah.
I'm too inundated in what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not busy doing something, I want to look at it.
Yeah.
I want to, hey, where is it?
Yeah.
Because we both know good deals don't wait.
Right.
So whenever I do have a professional realtor call me on stuff, I try to get back to them quickly.
Gotcha.
I mean, even if it's just a phone call. Hey, Mike, you know what? I heard the deal.
Yeah.
I can't do anything right now.
Yeah.
Or you know what, Mike? Where is it?
Let's
You
go
know,
look at it.
let's go look at it right now. Or just give me the address. I can find it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the big qualifiers.
So them having a sense of urgency, you should be able to recognize that.
Absolutely. As already being a seasoned
Mm-hmm.
realtor, you kind of know when things are. You know,
Yeah.
Mike. I mean,
They
we've been
know what they're
around.
talking about.
We've been around a while now.
Yeah.
As a newbie in the investor side, everybody's trying to get their feet wet and trying to go to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
So you might even ask them, hey, how many deals have you done? Or one of the things I did, I paid my realtor for their time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was that serious about when I was new. Hey, look, I'm new.
Mm-hmm.
You know, can you pull me some comps? Can you pull? I'll pay you $50 a month. I'll pay you,
like
whatever it is, to be able to work with me on a few things, or even just to meet with me a few times, so I can learn how to work with you. On that level, and to be able to get those what y'all call these pocket listings. We love those. So
and ain't no MLS, no competition.
Oh
right?
my God! And I only deal with a handful of realtors now. Right? You're one of them, and actually it's less than a handful, because once you get your core team, even if somebody else brings me something, I still go through using my realtor.
Because it seems like trust would be important, right?
Even when I have new inexperienced realtors bring me stuff, I still tell them, look, you're going to get your commission. I understand that. I understand why you're here. Mm-hmm. But let me bring in my guy.
Right.
Even if I got to pay you separate. Yeah. That way, even though I know some of the lingo because I've been in it, but most of us don't know as an investor. Yeah. So I try to link you two up that already know what's going on. Right. So,
and then that also kind of frees you up to go find another deal.
And so once Mike say, or other guys that I use, they say, yeah, this is something you need to work with, then I go ahead and chime in. So that was one of the biggest things. Yeah. When we talked about some of the disadvantages and advantages of working with agents on vice versa. Yeah. I looked at that too, and I said, well, it's not really no disadvantage of working with a realtor. Yeah. I think you guys are some of the best people as an investor that can have on their team. Mm-hmm. It's nothing better. Yeah. Because not only do you have the knowledge, but you actually have some of the pocket listings, some of the different things that are happening in the real estate realm, the city, all those type of things. So it makes it a lot better. Yeah.
It does seem like that. I'm not going to say most investors, but it does seem like some investors have their mindset is they feel like realtors are inadequate or incompetent and things like that. Where do you think that comes from?
Well, that's a good question. That's a very good question.
Because I'm true. That's true. Right?
That is the truth. Most of us investors, especially seasoned ones, we think that most real estate agents are incompetent. Yeah. And I look back to a lot of them not getting the training that you're giving. Mm-hmm. Because I've been to the Century 21s, I've been to the different ones, and they're great. I mean, Remax and all that, but some of those different places are like, look, you already supposed to know what you're doing. I'm setting you in there and going to perform. Yeah. So when I started out, one of the biggest things that I wanted to do, and I like what you really do, is that you give a good sense of training. Yeah. Because it's so important. You can get out there and pass your class and maybe have a great attitude with people. Yeah. But if you don't know those little bitty details, when to speed up and when to slow down, I mean, it's tremendous. Absolutely. So my hat goes off to you and Brooks and Davis. I mean, I've been around y'all a long time, is that y'all have quality training. You bring in some quality people, you're there to ask all the questions, answer the questions, and not many, because before I didn't get my license, you had to find a broker. Yeah, that's right. So I went around to different places, all the big names and all that, and I interviewed with them. I was like, one of my biggest things was training. I'm like, well, how much training do you got? oh yeah, we have a little program.
Yeah.
You know, once a month you come to. Like once a month,
Once a month,
as a new person, or as a person that's only been in the business a few years.
Yeah.
I need training like every week.
Yeah.
You know,
at least once a week.
At least once a week.
Multiple times a week.
And exactly. I would love to have it a couple of times a week.
Yeah.
So those things when you're looking for quality realtors is that.
And it's funny.
They give you that.
And it's funny that the industry hasn't figured that out yet, right? You like we're an outlier and we shouldn't be. And we're an outlier because we offer a lot of training and development to agents. Like that's, it seems like that would be a given.
Exactly.
The way that we're set up.
You can find that anywhere.
Right. That you would seem like that's oh, okay, we expect that. What else do you do? Mm-hmm. But it's like, oh, why are y'all so special? Because we train you. Like, oh, that's like
exactly.
But it's the truth.
Yeah. And one of the things dealing with realtors that been through extensive training. Mm-hmm. Now we at least talk on we at least got the same lingo. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's one of the giveaways. If you're talking to somebody, if they don't know the basics, MLS or what ARV is, or things like that, you already know that, what does ARV mean? Yeah. What does MAO mean?
Yeah.
But those are the things.
But here's the thing, though, Dave, and I really want them to catch this. One of the first things you talked about was transparency. Like, be upfront, let them know that you're new.
Absolutely.
So now, when you do that, when you run across somebody like yourself or some other investors out there that don't have a problem explaining stuff to you,
absolutely,
right? Well, now the problem comes in where it's like you're trying to act like and
fake it till you make it.
Faking it, you faking it, and it's like. Come on, man. We can tell, you know what I'm saying? Like
I can already tell.
Yeah, when you brand new, if you don't know what ARV is, then hey, well, what is ARV? And now I answer your question. I expect it because you knew. But if you faking it, like, I do all these, I work with all these investors, and you say ARV, like, oh, ARV. Like, you don't know what that means.
They say ARV, and what is ARV? You talking about an animal or something?
Right. All these
you work with investors. So, and I'm talking about land trust and, putting together a syndication to buy this particular deal, and they like, oh yeah, I know what that means. We done some of that. Okay, well, great. Show me your where's your paperwork on that? I'm interested in. Oh, well, I don't have.
How did you set it up?
How did you set that up? Where did it come from? Then you pretty much know.
Yeah.
But some of the other things is that I just wanted to give you some nuggets and give everybody out there some nuggets. It's just when you're working with investors too, one of the biggest things is that we're not emotional.
Mm-hmm.
It either works or it doesn't.
Right.
And that's what I love about you got repeated business through working with investors. Yeah. So I'm trying to find out with realtors what by working with us benefits you.
Okay. I think the biggest thing is activity.
Activity. Right? We all need that. Right.
It's activity. And I think it's about, like you said earlier, we have access to information, data. Right? That's what we have access to. Then we have access to relationships. Well, because of that access to data and that access to relationships and resources to an extent, we can utilize that as a benefit or a value to you guys. And then that activity, like I said, y'all are bringing capital into the market, right? A lot of investors, if it's a seasoned investor, they have access to capital.
That's one of the things. Yeah.
So it's like, for you all, it's about, making sure that we are best utilizing the capital that we have. Yeah, we got access to this capital, but we only going to use it under certain circumstances. So
it's
now
it's
got to fit. Yeah. So now as the realtor, since we understand, we know if the deal is solid, they'll move. Now we got to go out there and try to find something, try to put something together that makes sense. And if a realtor is willing to put in that level of work and activity on the front end,
absolutely,
then I think that's how the relationship works. Because for a lot of us, the buyer picking the house is the easy part. Getting them to be able to close on the house is the hard part,
absolutely,
right? But with the investor, getting the investor to pick the house is the hard part. But once they pick it,
it's done.
It's done.
It's done.
It's streamlined.
And that's, now that you say that is so imperative, because once I tell you I want it, I don't need you to take me to closing. You don't have to be sitting across the table and making sure I sign and all that stuff. all I have to tell you is that wait and pick up a check.
There it is.
Because I'm gonna do the rest,
Right.
basically.
I'm running with it.
I'm running with it.
Yeah.
You know, my closer, I'll tell you who they are pretty much. Here's where I want to take the deal to, what title company, because they know what I want. They know exactly how I want things done. And sometimes I can't deal with my title company.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? I can call the title company you dealing with.
Right.
I know how to talk to them.
Right.
I already know the lingo. I know exactly what they need.
Right.
Hey, they need this document, this document. It won't be where you got to call back. Well, where's this document?
Right.
Where's your W-2?
Right.
You don't have to do that with investors. So
Yeah.
those are some of the keys of just having somebody in your toolkit.
Absolutely. And I feel like
you can always, like I said, you can always call me, because I'm gonna tell you right up front, especially when you have a deal, like say it was right at the table and it bust out.
Mm-hmm.
You had another investor, or you had just somebody who's just buying that property, starting to invest, or just sometimes realtors brought me deals that I was able to step right in. Title was already ready.
Yeah.
And yes, I got a deal on it. We had to go a little cheaper, but the deal still got closed.
Still got, and the realtor still got paid.
Right.
Right.
Still got
I
paid.
think some of the disconnect, between realtors and investors is one of it is our industry kind of it tries to condition us. And when I say us, I'm talking about licensed people, right?
Okay.
It tries to condition us to the way that we formalize relationship is with paperwork, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have a buyer's rep with them, then they're not your client. When working with investors, that ain't how you formalize relationships.
You probably would never have
ever
a buyer's
rep agreement. Yeah, an investor's never going to commit to exclusively to one single agent. It doesn't work in their business model anyway.
Exactly.
So I think that's why realtors find a hard time understanding, well, how do I protect myself? Where they use that as saying, well, you got to have the paperwork because to protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When the reality is, if you find a good enough deal, the deal gonna protect you.
The deal gonna protect
right?
you. Yeah,
you put
absolutely.
in like whatever effort and whatever energy that you put into finding. Once you get an understanding of what they're looking for, you in essence got a client. Like they got access to capital. If you bring them the right property, they're gonna move on it.
Absolutely.
So the paperwork don't mean nothing.
It don't mean anything. And I heard that too, Mike, is that the paperwork. Well, can we sign a buyer? No, I'm not signing that. Matter of fact, I don't have time to sign it. I don't have time to read it. I don't want to sign it. The thing that I want from you is that once we do business, or you will find out, and once you do one deal with that person, you have them for life. Yeah. I mean, he or she will roll with you. They're not, what you got to understand by good investors, they don't want to blow that relationship either.
Right.
I don't want to take your commission. Right. I want you to have commission. I pay the commission plus a bonus.
Right.
Because you brought me the right type of deal. Yeah. So the beauty behind it is that don't worry so much about paperwork when you're dealing with experienced investors.
Right.
Now, you have somebody brand new like you might have them sign one, because I did sign one back when I first started.
So this is, I actually put them in two different categories, right? Okay. So I have investor, right? So that's somebody that's out there that's seasoned. This is what we do. This is how we generate cash flow. And then I have a person that wants to invest.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah, so I separate them. They're two different things.
Yeah, two different things.
So now, if I got somebody, and it's funny, I just got somebody call me the other day. Yeah, me and my wife, we want to buy an investment property. Like, they're not an investor.
Yeah,
that's a person
they need to sign an agreement.
They got to sign an agreement.
Absolutely.
But an investor that we know that we're doing this every day, all day. We got access to the capital. Hey, we don't need no paperwork. I just need to put something in front of them.
Put something in front of them, because they're gonna take the bull by the horns, and they're gonna run with it. So, absolutely. And that's the beauty about working with each other. And I'm gonna be the same with you in your time. Yeah. That's how you're gonna know you have somebody that's real. Yeah. Because we both know, Mike, dealing in this industry for years, is that good deals don't wait. No. So when you call me with something, I'm not gonna be pitter-patting around, right.
Let me think about
it. Now I'm gonna stop what I'm doing, run some quick numbers. Hopefully you have some quick numbers when you call me. Hey, David, here's what it's worth. Here's where it's located. Yeah. This is what I think is owed on it. This is what I think we can get it for. And here's some of the details on it. Right. Then I'm gonna say something real quick. Okay, well, give me a few minutes. Yeah. I'm gonna get off the phone with you. I'm jumping right on MLS.
Kind of verify.
And that's that other relationship that being able to have access
to the resources.
By knowing other investors, because A true investor is gonna protect those resources.
Mhm.
He's not gonna just be throwing them out there. He's gonna know that y'all have a relationship,
Right.
but then he's gonna use those resources in that relationship to only deal with you because you've been, you know,
Yeah.
vice versa. Y'all
Yeah,
been
absolutely.
been together and doing these things.
Yeah.
So those are some of the keys. But I think what you're saying about when you come back to knowing that they're serious,
Mhm.
those are going to be the big
The
things.
big quality.
One of the things I want to talk about also that's very
Before
key.
you do that, hold it up. Hey, look, I want you all, if y'all have questions for Dave, y'all can go ahead and
Absolutely.
start plugging them into the chat. So as we're kind of talking and flowing, I can see the chat and then I can kind of pose those questions to him as well before we do a live Q&A or whatever.
Okay. One of the things I found out about realtors, whether they're seasoned or novice, is that sometimes you got to get out of your own way. And you know, especially if you're bringing a deal to an investor, or say you and an investor are doing partnership in that and getting that house sold or whatever. You know, it's that old thing, say, you know, kind of stay in your lane. If you know your lane,
Yeah.
you know, don't get over in this lane when, if you know that they're competent, and or vice versa. That's either side. You know, get out of the way. I've had some, you know, like when I'm dealing with you and a few other, hey, I know if it's over there, they gonna get back with me and let me know. I ain't gotta call them every few minutes. I ain't gotta call them every day. He gonna call me when something needs to be done.
Something popping.
The same thing on my end. You brought me something and I started to work with it. You don't have to call me every few minutes and say, well, is the deal, you know, what's going on? Do you need it? No, if I need something, I would call you. I mean, it's that quick. So don't do it, and I have had this happen a lot, is that they get so far in the deal and they kill the deal.
Because they're in the way.
And you have this thing called fiduciary responsibility that you have with your buyer or your seller, right?
That didn't sign that paperwork.
Yeah.
Only the one that signed.
Only one that signed the paperwork, absolutely. But my thing is this: even when you actually you do have that fiduciary responsibility, what is the major thing that we're here to do? Is to get that house sold at the best price we can. And you might have thought the price was here.
Right.
And as you start to find out the price is here.
Right.
But you're like, I had one realtor tell me, well, I can't let them sell it for that much.
Let them.
You know, I'm like, did you present the offer? Did you tell them that this might be the best avenue? Because you are their representative. I'm just putting what I can pay for it out there.
No, that, I mean, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I feel like as realtors, we do that. Like we start handling the transaction as if it's our transaction. And it's like, you don't have no skin in this game, right? There's a particular reason that this seller needs to do what they need to do, that they need this money. There's a particular time frame that needs to work within it.
Regardless of what you think.
Regardless of what you think. And like you said earlier, sometimes we're closed-minded to what's best for the client because we see it as winning and losing.
Exactly.
Like, man, if I let him sell it for this, then I'm a crappy realtor.
It was my fault.
It's on me.
No, it was the problem and the circumstances that seller had that they need to make things happen.
Absolutely. As a realtor, once you tap into what the true need of the client is, then it doesn't matter about the price. It's like, hey, look, if this is the best outlet for us to get the result that you're looking for right now, that's where we need to go. Like, that's true representation.
Absolutely.
But we missed that. We did miss that.
And I like that, because most of realtors, they look at this as if it's a win-lose. I'm like, really, for me as the buyer, I'm on your team. I want to buy the house, or the apartment complex, or whatever it is.
Right.
I want you to get paid, get your commission, plus bonus. I mean, I know what makes, you know, that plus bonus is hey, I have not had a realtor on my team that when I said, look, you get your 3 or 6% plus another bonus, you know, you get this done by plus another bonus.
Okay.
So
you get a tip.
Exactly. and I like that, because it makes people move, you know, and it makes me move on the other side. You tell me I can buy it at this price today, but I can buy it at this price tomorrow. You know, I'm trying to move on this price. So it works. But another thing too, I wanted to throw out here too, is that sometimes you guys come across deals that don't have any equity. Okay, this person still needs to sell. Say the house is worth 100,000 and they owe 99. How do you get a commission from that? How do you do different, you know, sometimes you get a lot of novice that hasn't worked with when investors think walk away from those type of deals.
Yeah.
Well, I've done a lot of deals like that with other agents where they took a note or they took their commission in a note form.
Gotcha.
So when I was able to do whatever I do, I kept it for a few years. Then guess what? That note or that promissory note is still on that property.
Yeah.
When I sold it 3 years later, they still got paid.
Still got paid from the property.
They still got paid from the property.
Be creative. Right?
You be creative. So don't be so closed-minded on when you're dealing with different deals and they look like they don't work or they look like you over. I even done some houses where the house is worth 100,000. They owed 110 and they had an agent. How does everybody get paid?
Out of pocket.
So I
just pay it out of pocket.
Hey, but guess what? Even if they couldn't, a lot of agents just walk away from it.
Yeah. So because let me tell you why. Again, it goes back to what I said earlier about the way that the industry tries to condition us. Right? They condition us to only operate in a particular box. It's kind of like life insurance.
Right.
Life insurance bases their prices off of a particular criteria. So if it's in this criteria, this is what it is.
That's what it is.
So that's the same thing in our industry. Like it's like this is the criteria.
Right.
Anything out of this criteria,
it don't work.
You don't work. You walk away from it. And then it's funny because they don't say it's not illegal. It's unethical. Like that's the word that they use. That's unethical.
Nothing you can do with that.
Yeah, that's
why would you let him just take over his mortgage? Because that's unethical.
That's unethical.
I mean, is it really this person's about to lose their house? Or this person just called you and said, hey, Mike, I don't have any equity, but I got to go to San Antonio. Not San Antonio. I got to go to Seattle tomorrow. Yeah. I don't want you to rent it.
Right.
I'm going to walk away from it.
What can I do? Yeah.
What can I do?
Yeah.
So,
that's unethical. Yeah, that's the word. That's the word that they use.
If any of y'all out there get those type of problems, major problems, and you go to Mike and it can't be solved there, and he needs to pull into something, pull me in. I'm interested in those.
So Tammy has a question for us. So she said, with home prices going up, she said home prices going up every Monday.
Absolutely.
How and what kind of deals are investors looking for? Foreclosure and flood home, the owner can't fix. Like how y'all handling this kind of market? Because true story, the house across the street from where I live.
Okay.
I found out because I knew the people that was renting it, and they was like, "Oh, we're moving out." I'm like, "Oh, okay, put me in contact with the landlord. Let's see what's going on." So I talked to the landlord, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this." And I told her, I said, "Look, we'll buy it as is, man. You ain't gotta whatever.
You ain't gonna do anything to it, right?"
She's like, "Well, let me go look at it." So, but the whole process, I'm checking her out, right? So she's putting some money into it. She's making her repairs, whatever. I even talked to her realtor.
Okay.
That house was sold in 3 days.
Absolutely.
It was sold.
Absolutely.
Not under contract. It was sold. I was driving by because I was using the little HAR app because I saw the sign and then I was like, man, the sign ain't up no more. Because I saw the people over there. I was using the little app, and the app will do like search nearby properties. So you ain't got to put in no address. It'll just
search everything.
Search, right?
Absolutely.
And it wasn't coming up. And I'm like, I'm thinking it's got to be under contract with the sign.
Right.
Man, it wasn't coming up. So I went to sold property. And then it popped up. I'm like, man, they had sold that house in 3 days. And it said 3 days on HAR. I was like, that's crazy.
Well, the answer is Tammy, right?
Tammy.
Answer Tammy's question, and great question, by the way, Tammy, is that it's just funny right now. I mean, you say every Monday, but it's like every other day now. The house, matter of fact, the house right next door to me, knew the people, mother passed away, asked the girls that were staying there what they're going to do with the house. Oh, well, we're not going to do anything right now. We'll let you know. So I just let months pass. Come to find out, I find out they already wrote a contract with someone else. And they wrote the contract for, say, $105,000. Okay, no problem. And they owed about $78,000. Okay. And that company couldn't close at the time because it was some other investor or something.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they came to me and wrote a contract. Okay. And they said, you know what, now we've been going through this for the last 6 or 7 months. They haven't closed. We're just ready to sell it for what we owe on.
Oh, wow.
Right. Okay. So I said, oh, great. So we wrote a contract for $78,000 just to pay off the mortgage. Come back, put it in the title, all that stuff, find out, guess what? They still had the other contract and they still had some, right?
Yeah.
Cloud on the title. Yeah. So of course I can't do anything. I want the house like you can't believe. Yeah. All right. So finally, after attorneys involved and all this stuff, the house closed like a year and a half later.
Really?
A year and a half later, they got the house. But guess, I'm going to her question now. That's all that part is just hurtful for me because I didn't get that house. But now I'm going from her question. They bought the house at $105,000 or $10,000. They put about $40,000. They gutted the house. Okay, nice house, right? I mean, real nice. Put it on the market. You know, I know my neighborhood. I'm staying big. My neighborhood's probably worth 140, 160. Retail. You know, they sold the house for $197,000 in less than a week. $30,000 more than this house would normally sell because I just sold one 2 streets over.
Right.
Same square footage, same everything. Few months down before this pandemic really happened, I sold it for $149. It was the same house. They got $40,000 more just because of what we're going through. So I understand you right now. I also work for the foreclosure listing service. You know, where we have the foreclosures there in Night Road all the time. So I'm always there. So looking at what's going on, looking at right now with the moratoriums we got in with, you know, with the foreclosures, with the evictions. I mean, they said something like 6.8 million people are 1, 2, or 3 months behind. The evictions, you can't evict anybody. So lucky, I mean, I used to have several rentals. I think we used to have over 15 rentals, and now I only have a couple of rentals. So, and lucky they were close to paid off or didn't owe as much on them. So I can float them whether somebody's in there or not. But man, can you imagine the landlords right now, what they're going through?
So do you think it would be good as a realtor? Because I would think there's some landlords that they can't put the client out, they can't pay the mortgage.
That's been my last few deals.
That's what
I've already made offers. Everything, the seller was yes, I'm yes, the money's at the table. And the only thing was that made me stop on it is that I could not get the tenant out. Now, guess what? I went and talked to the tenant, offered to pay them to get out. Why would we leave when I'm paying rent?
And he can't do nothing
about it. So I went back to the landlord and I said, look, man, I mean, price is right, everything's right, but I can't sit here and pay you and then take your problem.
Right.
But I can consider to take your problem for another $30,000 less.
You take some more off that.
You take some more off that price because I got to be able to float that, right? So, in actuality, we didn't end up buying the deal, but guess what? For some reason, they just moved out in the middle of the night, didn't call me back. Tenant moved out, something, and they sold that house for 30% more than what the retail. No, not even when I was buying it. Whatever the retail price was, they sold it for almost 30% more. So the house was really maybe $180,000. They sold it for like $210, $215.
So I mean, this really is now. At first, it wasn't, but now it is starting to remind me of the 2006 bubble.
Oh, bro! And guess what? You guys stick around because I'm telling you. Soon as they lift this moratorium, soon as they lift that, about 6 months later, you're gonna see. I mean, you're gonna have more things for sale than you can believe.
It's gonna suck. It's gonna do exactly what happened in 2007.
That's exactly what it's gonna do. Because you can keep throwing money at this. You cannot keep throwing money at this situation, thinking that the government's just give. You can't keep doing that. It's just not gonna sustain. Yeah, it's not gonna sustain itself.
Hey, Tammy, you had a question? You unmuted yourself.
I unmuted myself. I got one more thing. Okay. With the prices going up the way they are with the housing market, do y'all feel like it's gonna crash?
Yeah, that's what.
When everything going back to normal.
Yeah, that's what we were just saying.
That's what y'all afraid of.
Well, that's what we were just talking about. We were just talking about
because
very similar to what we were seeing in 2006 as far as these prices, and then overnight.
It's gonna happen like a thief in the night.
Yeah, it just falls off a cliff.
The bottom drop out.
Okay. And it's gonna be a good thing for both of us as investors and realtors. It's gonna be a good thing, but it's not good for the overall public.
The
market itself. But it's got to correct itself.
That's what I was gonna say. It's just it's a market correction. All markets do it.
Yeah, all markets.
They got to correct. So this is not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
What's happening?
So everybody has a license. Everybody's in the business. Just hold on.
Yeah.
you know, you're gonna have more houses that you can shake a stick at on putting out on the market.
Absolutely.
They're gonna be calling you, hey, you know, my house just went down. I need to sell it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else I can do.
Now, here's the thing, though. When that happens, though, because this is where I got caught up back in 2006, 7, 8, 9. You're not going to be able to approach the business. Now, I'm speaking as a realtor.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to approach the business the same way you're approaching it right now. You're going to have to shift and how you handle and the type of and how you operate as it relates. Because yeah, you're going to have all these listings, but there's not going to be any equity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you're going to have to become proficient in defaulted property. And that's another reason why you need to have these relationships with investors, people that can bring capital to the table.
Right.
Because if you're negotiating short sales, if you're working with banks and they get all these REO
capital right up
properties,
front.
you need that capital. Because that's what people care. At that point, it's speed.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about the retail price.
Absolutely.
How fast can we get it off the books?
Right.
So that your guy, he can come, he can pay, boom, we hand it over to you. So now is a great time to begin building those relationships and fostering those relationships.
And you know, it's nothing more than just, you know, making a few phone calls,
Mm-hmm.
you know, maybe joining an association for
Mm-hmm.
a few months or maybe 1 year.
Yeah.
Get a few investors on your team because we need each other.
Right.
This is not one-sided. We need y'all as much as y'all need us.
Absolutely.
And the good investor or the good realtor knows that.
Yeah.
So go out and get you, you know, build you 2 or 3 different relationships, maybe have you 2 or 3, you know, bag ups,
Yeah.
you know, never just have one.
Have your list.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
just
have
go
your
down
list.
the list.
And guess what? As you build that list, your best ones are moving themselves up to the top.
That's right.
You know, you know, I called him, he closed immediately.
Yeah.
Or I called him, he got right back with me
Yeah,
and told me yay or nay.
Yeah.
At least he responded.
Yeah.
Or I called him and gave him the details. He looked over it and called me back on why it doesn't work.
And he was honest.
He was honest. I say, look, I liked it. I like all deals that come to me, but this is why I can't buy.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that you want to be able to get from your investors.
Yeah, transparency.
Yeah, transparency.
All right, man. So I know you had to leave here in a little bit to go look at a deal, right?
Look at a deal.
So we're right at 1 o'clock. How much more time?
Well, I got about 10, 15 minutes.
10, 15
If you
minutes.
don't have any questions, we could talk about anything real estate from an investor. Any question you always had from?
Yeah. Do y'all have any other questions? Any questions for Dave or even in myself as far as how I'm, you know, if I was on that side of things as a realtor right now, I really would be educating myself on foreclosures and short sales.
Absolutely. It's going to be very, very key. And the person that can put those together, to understand short sale packages, start calling some of these banks now and start asking them for their short sale package on what it entails. Well, you know, because they'll give you all the information.
They will.
They'll email you everything and say, here's how we do it.
Most of it's online. They'll be like, hey, go to our website, look for short sale.
And it's going to tell you everything. But even though everything's online now, it's good to be a little bit more knowledgeable about it because you've already read through it. You kind of know what the first steps are. Hey, I need this, and this.
To get started.
Even though you don't know the other 5 steps,
Yeah.
but if you know the first 3 steps, you're going to be so much far in the game than any other realtor out there.
Yeah, I would definitely be educating myself, trying to find as much information. At the time, they had a designation, a CDPE. I don't know if that guy still has that stuff going on, that class going on, because once that stuff kind of dried up when the market rebounded, I think they tried to take it in a different direction and it really didn't pan out. But if he's back, if he's seeing what we're seeing, then he probably ramping that back up on getting that designation.
Absolutely.
So I would definitely be out there doing that.
One of the things I would suggest too, I know y'all take continuing education quite a bit. So try to find some of those classes that talk more about the investing side, because the more you understand that side, it'll help you more on your side. Because, you know, those few little things about that deal, like, oh, you know what? They had it in the land trust. Okay, how do I get through this? Or, you know what? They did cloud the title, but what type of form is that? And what type of form I can use to decloud the title? All those little bitty fixes that'll make you be able to get that deal done, even if it's with a client that went and started a process with somebody else. Now they got what you as their realtor now, and now they screwed up something here, and now you can go back and fix that.
Get paid.
Get paid.
They say what the money is in solving the problem, right?
And solving the problem, and that's really what, you know. You guys, it's like people come and say they want to sell their house, they want to buy a house. I make all my money from solving problems,
Right.
and issues. And it's probably not one I haven't heard. From dealing with home investors to doing many houses a month to doing a few houses now. I probably do maybe 3 or 4 transactions a year.
Yeah.
And I'm really trying to look for other stuff now, a little more commercial.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things like that
Right.
now. So
don't get thrown off by him saying doing 3 or 4 transactions a year. With the amount of checks that you get with these 3 or 4 transactions a year, you don't necessarily need to be doing them every month.
Well, and let me give you a little advice too, as an agent, or as a seasoned or a novice, is that one of the things that I see out there, even when I'm dealing with agents, I kind of know, or realtors, it's like, try to get yourself in a position to where you're not feast to famine.
Right.
That is just so key, because I can tell it.
Mm-hmm.
If you come, oh man, we gotta get this. Oh,
hungry.
You so and it's easier said than done. Right. I mean, it took me time to get out this rat race. So this thing didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been 16 years in, I'm 20 years in. So now things are so much smoother now. Now I don't have the stress and all those things. So you really want to get to that point. If that means working your part-time job and doing this, or that means really decreasing your debt and getting to this point, it's just very, very key, because it's like other investors, or even from the other side, they can smell blood.
It's blood in the water.
and you don't want to seem like that, no matter what side you're on.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, I think the biggest key, and this is something that I probably a component that we're going to introduce into the brokerage firm at some point, because it's very important. The biggest key to that is money management, right?
Absolutely.
We've heard it before. It's not about how much money you make; it's about how much money you keep.
Absolutely.
And until you get to a point, and I'll be real transparent, the first time that I realized that I made $100,000 was when I looked at how much money I had spent in that year. Right. So I never felt like that whole year. I never felt like I was balling. I always felt like I was feast or famine. But when you add it all up at the end of the year,
you like,
this how much money I made,
mm-hmm.
right? So then you realize something's wrong.
Something's wrong.
So it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep. And it's very important to kind of get yourself to some of the things that Dave talked about. Get yourself to where you can live off of, say, 50 or 60% of your income.
Absolutely.
Right? When you get, and that's adjustment in lifestyle. That's making changes in how you spend your money. So now, and guess what? When you create those habits and those patterns in your life, now when you start making more money, but you still maintaining, living off of 50, 60, 70% of your money. Yeah. That's when
that's when things really, really start to grow. And it's key that you said that, Mike. And that's, for us being in different, in the same profession, real estate, but different parts of it.
Right.
We still have that same basic need on that other side. Yeah. Whether you're an investor, whether you're a realtor, it's the same thing, because our deals don't happen every day.
Right.
So you got to be able to go that 60 days, that 30 days, that 6 months. How can you sustain that?
Yeah, that cash gap.
That cash gap. So for me, now that I thank God, now that I'm able to live off that 30% or that 40%, and it took time. Right. I remember times where I was $4 or $5 million in debt.
Wow.
Stress up to, people calling me every day. Tenants calling every day. And I'm telling you, it was a very stressful life. Went through some things, went through some challenges, and went through a divorce. I'm not, it's probably that's probably one of the best things that happened after it all happened. But I don't wish that on nobody. Right. Stay married, work it out. But I wasn't mature enough then. So, but now, even after all of that and liquidating all of that and coming all back, life is so much easier now. Now I'm truly out of the rat race. That's been a godsend. So I want y'all to get there as well.
Absolutely.
And getting there on that side is having more knowledge, having more training, picking up as much training as you can, and understanding the different concepts of the whole real estate realm.
Absolutely.
And having somebody that you can pick up and call.
Yeah.
You guys, being with Mike, get my number from him. You can call me anytime about anything. I'm willing to talk about deals. That's what I like to do.
Absolutely,
So,
yeah. So we can, I would definitely get you all Dave's information. If anybody's interested, we get you that information. And
I can do lunch anytime. You paying?
So feed them.
You know, yeah,
look, that's good.
You
though.
feed me. I'll sit down an hour or two with you, tell you everything you need to know.
I've gotten some of my best nuggets over buying somebody some lunch over a meal.
We've been to a lot of lunches too, man. Me and Mike has been through them. So I want to first of all thank Mike and Brooks and Davis too.
Absolutely.
Any other questions? I mean,
I can put your number in the chat.
If you have
what number you want?
832-731-7563. And guess what? Since y'all are people of Mike, y'all got my personal cell phone.
Look at that.
I mean, I don't.
Membership has its privilege.
I don't give that out to everybody, but if I can help you in anything on either side, I'm willing to do that.
Man. So yeah.
All right. Hopefully, it's been some nuggets. You know what? You sit there all night, all week, prepare so much stuff, and then you get in here. It's like I didn't say half of the stuff that I wanted to say.
You know why, man? You prayed. You prayed for the Spirit, and the Spirit gave us He gave the information that the people needed.
And also that if you have some things that come up later, I'm available. One thing I found out is that don't ever be, even when I was teaching, even when I was, several $1 million in debt and up to, money coming in all over the place. And then you find out you made 100, 200, 300,000. Where is it?
Where the money?
What happened to it?
Yeah.
Now I can honestly tell you, I make a lot less, but I know where it all is.
Yeah, you got your profit, your spread.
Spreads are, exactly.
And again, back to that statement, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. What we should be tracking is not how much money we bringing in, it's about what that spread look like. Once them expenses go out, is that getting larger?
And one of the other things I can tell you is kind of like this, man. See, I keep, like Red Mike, my financial statements right here.
Yep, financial statement.
I know how much is in my accounts. I know how much is in my investments. I know how much is in my houses. I know how much in my crypto funds. I know how much is in my stock funds. I have it right here. So when I turn on my phone, it shows me right there where I'm at. You don't have to be guessing and saying, how much is in the bank. Or, it don't matter if I got an account and it only has $400 in that account. It's on here.
You're going to see it. Yeah.
I see
and that's another one of the habits that I had to create is at least having a weekly meeting with myself, or find a weekly financial meeting, right? And to go through, what we made the last 7 days, what we spent the last 7 days, what do we projected to spend over the next week.
And that's business and personal.
Yep, business and
because personal. Now that I work out of my house and things kind of tie together, or if you have a separate office, you need to know what's going on here and then that home front as well.
Yep.
And once you start looking at those numbers like that, it really bring everything in. You'll say, okay, you know what? I need to at least get a couple of deals done this next quarter.
Absolutely.
I see this shortfall.
Yeah.
I need to start working towards this.
Yep.
Go out and make a few more phone calls. Yeah. Go out, take a couple of investors to lunch, see what they got going on. Tell them how you can be able to be of help to them. And if they get something that, a lot of us want to list property too.
Yeah, because you ain't.
And we want to, I got to the point when I got those up to 15, I think it was just 15. I was like, there's no way. Now I started about maybe 7. There was no way I can handle these by myself. Right. I needed a realtor to take over property management. That's what I did.
Rent them out. Yeah, that's how that was my first.
Yeah.
That was the first shot you gave me. Rent one of your houses.
Yeah, that was it. Then you start renting other people's houses that I've sent to you. So
that's correct.
It happens.
People buy and sell, man. So no, man. Well, I definitely appreciate this, brother. This is a wealth of knowledge that I can offer to our agents. I'm like I said, I said yes. I've been saying it all week. Now is the time for you to start building those relationships with investors, get access to that capital, because I do believe it's about to hit the fan. There's gonna be a lot of opportunity out there.
With the capital, going back on that, like even with me, I have private lenders. All of this is not my capital. Right. I try to hold on to my capital as much as possible.
Yeah.
So I have 3 or 4 different lenders that are private, and then I have some other lenders that are like national lenders.
Yeah.
So I've already pre-qualified for them with them. I've already have my 2 or 3 or 4 lenders that I've already have. So if the deal is good and I like it, I'm
can do it.
I'm gonna make something happen right now. I'm not gonna wait.
So that's why I said access to capital. It ain't got to be in your bank account.
It have to be in your bank account.
You can access capital cash, then you can make these transactions happen and you can get your money.
And also, like we say, when you meet, like I said, when you meet with another investor, not only to be their go-between or be their possible property manager one day, or be possible that y'all actually do transactions or you list their properties.
Yeah.
Also try to get with them on, maybe y'all doing a deal together.
Yeah.
The deal may come across that it falls through, but guess what? They still got to sell today.
Right.
What do you do?
Yeah.
Well, if you can call another investor and you can let them know right in your paperwork, I am a part of principle of this deal, right? Disclosure, right?
Yeah.
That's y'all's thing as a realtor, right?
It's
like location, but disclosure. You disclose it and bring them in, and then you can still get that deal done.
True. You can
It's always ways
can
around.
invest in as well, man. But no, thanks for your time, man. I know you got somewhere to be.
I gotta go. It's been fun.
Like, look, if y'all have any questions, y'all have his number, or y'all can get his information through me. If you want, y'all can stay on. I'm gonna let Dave go. If y'all have any additional questions y'all want to run by me before we officially log off, so y'all don't have to go nowhere.
Hey, sorry, I appreciate you, man. Thank you a lot.
Appreciate your time, man.
Anything I can do to help, man, I'm willing to help, because one of the things you got to realize, it's not about just you, it's about the people.
Absolutely.
Don't matter what it is, it's about the people. It all comes back around to the people.
Right? Back to the people.
All right, hey, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Get that deal, man.
Oh, man, we're going to see. You know what? But guess what? God is good, whether I get it or I don't.
Yeah, you're gonna be all right.
It really don't matter. And that's the way you got to get your lifestyle, right?
Absolutely. That's that quality life.
There you go. All right, man. Take care.
We'll talk later.
Have a good day.
You too. All right. So does anybody have any questions? Anything?
Excellent training. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Ellen.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That's actually Mike, we'll get together.
Okay.
We're walking in the morning. Right?
Yep.
That's part of it too, right? Healthy, wealthy, and wise.
I gotta be healthy and wealthy, man. There you go. You gotta be wise. All right, man. We'll see you later.
All right, take care.
All right. Any other question? Tam, you got another question?
Do he usually buy property outskirts of Houston, like the country?
Yeah, he buy properties anywhere. He'll look at properties anywhere. If the if the deal's good enough. You have something for him?
Because I went home to a funeral. I grew up in Missouri County on the other side of Lake Jackson.
Mhm.
And I have a lot of relatives that never recover from Harvey. Their houses got flooded, brick homes or whatever, and they just moved out the property and just left it abandoned.
Oh wow.
And I might convince them to sell.
All right, well, you got his number that I put in here?
Yes, I wrote it down.
All right, yeah,
So-
reach out to him. Give him a call.
I'm at least try to get a contract on it.
Okay. Well, that may be a good opportunity.
All right.
Good stuff.
But I'll be calling you. I'll be getting in contact with you because I seen a lot of properties that was in distress
Okay,
or
cool.
people just walked away from after Harvey.
Yeah. All right, good stuff, Tam.
Okay.
Sharing that.
All right. Bye-bye.
Anybody else?
Okay,
Anybody
bye-bye.
else have any questions before we shut it down? How was the training? Did y'all enjoy it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was very knowledgeable.
It was
Okay.
very informative.
So
Yes.
you know, I always give y'all the $1 million question. Give me one thing that y'all gonna apply from today's training. So what's the one? Well, I know Tim, you kind of gave yours already. You're gonna reach out to those relatives, see if you can get them under contract. What about you, Ellen? What's one thing that you
Well, I'm gonna say it's all about relationships and not appearing to not know anything about real estate.
All right, good. Terry says she's gonna reach out to investors, so that's the one thing that she's gonna do. What about you, Jamie? What's the one thing that your one thing that you're gonna implement from today's training?
I'm not sure what I'll implement, but it was very, very resourceful, very interesting. I think I need to think about what I would implement exactly
Okay.
because it was coming from an investor's point of view. Well, I mean, I know you're there on the realtor side, but I just need to think about what I'm going. It's just different for me. I need to take it in more, honestly. But
I
it
got
was very enlightening, though.
Good. All right. Well, we record them, so it'll be on the YouTube channel in about a week or so you can revisit it, especially if you came on a little late. We're doing study hall today, so if study hall from 6 to 7. So if you're interested in doing that affiliate, we're doing real estate math. Spread the word on that. And I think that's it, man. So y'all enjoyed it. If I don't talk to you again for the mothers that's on here, man, happy Mother's Day. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. And we'll be talking to you soon.